Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I am so excited to get into today's video. I feel like I say that in every video, but I'm just excited to be here, sharing this time with you, talking to my camera, and you letting me talk to you. Okay, I didn't really have a plan for today's video, but I came across a plethora of these outrageous TikTok videos, and so many of you have been emailing me content, which I am so thankful for, so thank you so much. I have some really exciting video ideas that I'm going to toy with in the coming weeks. So very thankful if you do have content you want me to react to. My email is linked in the description of this video. And I will say that we have a super exciting interview coming up next week. One of you reached out to me and asked to be interviewed here anonymously on the channel. And I am so excited to be able to finally share that with all of you. Again, hopefully early next week, so stay tuned for that. Like I mentioned, we're just going to be reacting to some scammy content that I found from these business gurus on TikTok like I do. So with that being said, grab your coffee, grab your tea, and let's go ahead and jump right in. Also, we are on the couch today because I figured I would just get cozy while we did this, and everyone's favorite little puppy is here to visit as well, so we love it.
Now is the easiest time in human history to get rich. Think about it. Got an idea for a book? You don't need a publisher. Write it yourself, publish it yourself. Want to make some music or sell your art? You don't need an agent. You don't need distribution. You don't need a record label. Make it yourself. Sell it on the internet. Want to start a business? You can start a business on the internet now for pennies compared to what used to cost a lot to do a brick and mortar business. Want, somebody to help instead of having to hire employees at US-based wages and provide insurance and workers' comp and all these expenses? You can go on Upwork or you can go on Odesk and hire somebody overseas for like a few dollars an hour. Got an idea? Want to know if it'll work? You used to have to pay for focus groups. You have to go out and do surveys. Now you just post it on the internet and get instant feedback. Got a service you can offer or a skill? Go on Fiverr, go on freelancer.com and sell it yourself. Bottom line is, if you think you can't get rich in the world today, it's because you don't know how the world works. Go figure it out.
Whoa. Okay, I don't necessarily disagree with the sentiment that there's a lot of opportunity online. Like, you are literally watching a video right now where hopefully soon I'm going to be making money sitting on my couch talking to my camera. That wasn't an opportunity that existed 40 years ago. I understand that, and I don't disagree. Again, the opportunity to make money on the internet, in business, in content creation, etc. is huge. However, I think that this video itself, obviously it's a TikTok, it doesn't have a lot of time for explanation, but it really oversimplifies the process, and it's videos like this that lead people down these rabbit holes where they sign up for courses, they sign up for coaching under the guise and the promise that they're going to get rich on the internet. The other thing I wanted to touch on too was really icky, the part about exploiting labor, essentially. Why pay someone fair US wages when you could hire someone in a third world country and pay them 50 cents a day, is essentially what he was implying. And I see this really commonly pushed in the coaching space, is coaches teaching their students to hire VAs, web support, tech support, that kind of thing, but to make sure that they hire it in a developing country so that they don't have to pay a fair wage to the employees, or they pay fair relative to where those people live. Which I don't really know why, but to me, it's always just sat like very uncomfortably with me. And when I hired my VA, I made sure she was Canadian. We agreed on a fair wage and went from there. It's never made sense to me to hire someone like out of the country, but again, just my opinion and something that I don't necessarily agree with. You can let me know your thoughts in the comments. Okay, this next one, I'm not gonna be able to blur out her face just because she's doing green screen and she moves around a lot, and I really wanna make sure that you can kind of see all of the things she's talking about.
I'm going to teach you how to make 100K in your coaching business without hustle. So take a screenshot. School is in session. This one is a home study program. So you're going to charge $500, enroll 200 people in a year, which would equal 100K. You could do 4 promo launches for it and enroll 50 people per. Now, everything about the delivery would be passive. Of course, the sales would be active. This is a 3-month coaching program. $3,500 for that program, enrolling 30 people a year at 105K. Now the promo here would be 3 launches a year, which gives you lots of time freedom, enrolling 10 people per program. And then the delivery is 2 to 4 hours a week. And that would be for the coaching. Now we have how I actually had a 100K launch was doing this 6-month coaching program for 10K. You enroll 10 people, that's 100K. So you only need to have 2 launches a year, enrolling 5 people into each one. You could also do so many different things here, like make it 5K and enroll 10 people to each one if you're not ready to charge that month. You can play with the prices so that they work for you and where you're at in your business. Anyway, let me know if you have any questions with this. I would love to help you get to 100K in your business because honey, you need it. That is the abundance and the generosity and the impact you desire. Am I right?
Okay, now this one especially irritates me because first of all, she's not actually teaching you how to make the money. Like she titled the video, How to Make $100,000. And all the video is her showing math. So yeah, if you sell a product for $500, you'd have to sell 200 of them to make $100,000. If you sell a product for $3,500, you'd have to sell 30 to make $100,000. I can do math. I can divide $100,000 by the cost of whatever my offer is and figure that out myself. You're not actually teaching me anything, first of all. Second of all, let's talk about the actual facts and figures in here. So I'll put a screenshot up on the screen just so that you're looking at the same thing as me. But she's telling you that you can charge people $10,000 for a 6-month coaching program, and you only have to work 1 to 2 hours a week. So let's just say I enroll 10 people into my coaching program. They're paying me $10,000 for 6 months. That's nearly $2,000 a month for 1 to 2 hours of access to me every week. So that's what, 8 hours a month maximum, alongside the 9 other people that are in the program. So if we do the math, you get like 10 minutes with me a week for $10,000. How insane is that? Even the 3-month coaching program. So it's a 3-month coaching program with 30 people and you're working 2 to 4 hours a week. So again, if we do the math there, that's like less than 10 minutes a week that you would get with me for $3,500. Like this just doesn't make sense, doesn't sit comfortably with me. And again, I really think just kind of perpetuates this, you can make more money and work less hours kind of attitude, but you're not actually adding more value into these people's lives. And if anything, this kind of relates back to a reaction video I did a couple weeks ago where the individual was saying, you don't have to provide more value, you can just act more confident. And that's essentially what she's doing here. Like, you can just raise your prices so that you make more money, but you can do less work. It just, to me, is absolutely disgusting, is so exploitative of vulnerable people, and it doesn't sit well with me at all. If I am charging you money to be consulted or be coached by me, I want to make sure that I am adequately showing value in the work that I do. And I'm sorry, but I don't know anyone whose time is worth $10,000 for 10 minutes a week. Absolutely awful in my opinion. Let's move on.
So I booked a 1-month trip to Costa Rica, which turned into me falling in love, never returning to New York City, selling everything I owned, and building a multi-6-figure business in under 2 years. You do not need a plan. You don't need a step-by-step process. When I quit my job, I didn't really have a plan. Like I knew I could get into the freelancer gig economy online, so I just started hustling. I started teaching fitness online. I was doing this nutrition thing, which I wasn't even a nutritionist, which is hilarious. I was running Zoom calls for other coaches. Like I had my own service-based business where I was helping women manifest money and business-related careers through embodiment stuff. Like,
okay, if you haven't watched my video about manifestation, I will link it right here. You need to go watch that because manifestation is not a real thing, and I hate this already.
I was doing everything, and I didn't have a plan, but I did have a strategy, and that strategy is trusting myself. I remember when I first quit my job, and I talked to somebody in my family, and they were like a family friend. They weren't my family, because my family would be like, you go girl, like you can do it. But this family friend was like, I would be so scared, like, oh my God, how are you doing that? And I was like, well, you don't have the lifestyle that I want at all. Anything that I want, so I'm not gonna take on your limiting beliefs. But pretty much my whole entire life I've done things that like scare most people, but I'm like, I got you, I got your back, I'm here with you. So what was the point of the story? Follow your gut. You only have one life. Go create an incredible adventure and take action every single day and make sure that you move.
Again, don't disagree. In fact, I've shared similar sentiments wherein people in my life have told me not to do certain things that I've done, and I did them anyway, and they worked out better for me. And oftentimes people are just projecting their own insecurities or own unhappiness onto you when it comes to making those scary choices. However, I am not a fan of this idea of recklessly telling people to just quit their job and do something because they want to. In fact, when I share my story as an entrepreneur with people, I always advise people to not do what I did because I recognize how dangerous it could be for some individuals and how vulnerable of a position it could put people in. And now I do feel like me and this individual align a lot on this idea that I have always known that regardless of the situation, I will figure it out. If I have to go get a job at McDonald's because I can't pay my bills, I have no shame in swallowing my pride and doing that. If that's what I need to do, I've always been someone who can figure it out. But the problem is that when you are going on the internet and you have a large following and you're telling people to also follow this, not everyone has the same skill set and capabilities or willingness to do those things. And so that's not to say like, oh, I'm so much better than everyone and I can figure it out. But to just go ahead and tell people, quit your job and trust yourself and you'll figure it out, that's not necessarily going to be the reality, not to mention all of the systematic factors and pressures that other people might be facing. I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume that this person doesn't have children, they don't have a lot of responsibilities, they probably don't have a mortgage, that kind of thing. And so yes, it would be a lot easier for you to just quit your job and figure it out because you don't have responsibilities beyond yourself that you need to be worrying about. However, if I'm someone who carries a lot of debt, has a family, has obligations and responsibilities that I need to be present to and report for and accountable to, going ahead and just quitting my job is probably going to put me in a really horrible situation. And so I think having this attitude really just negates the fact that she is obviously in a position of privilege that many or most people would not find themselves in. So it's great that she's found success, but I don't think it's realistic to encourage other people that the same could be true for them. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.
So I believe that the best business to start in 2023 is a coaching business.
No!
Right now, everybody and their dog is looking to start a new online business and even learn a skill online. If you can find a way to specialize within a certain skill that's in demand, you can start actually charging people to teach them that skill. Now, of course, you must be qualified to actually teach that skill. But I'm telling you, it's one of the most fulfilling businesses that anybody can start, especially when you start seeing your students get those results that you're guaranteeing them. So I guess in short, it's time to go start your coaching business this year.
Okay, so many red flags in this. First one being, why the fuck do we have to monetize every single skill that we have? And it's not just this individual, it's everywhere on TikTok. My whole For You page is just like, and maybe it's because I'm in the business space, but it's just like, are you a fitness trainer? Turn it into an online course. Are you a nutritionist? Turn it into an online course. Do you know skill XYZ? Turn it into an online course. Not everything that we know and every skill that we have has to be turned into a fucking online course. It drives me crazy. And I'm glad that he mentioned the fact that you need to be qualified, but really in this day and age, what constitutes as a qualification? Because literally, I've talked about this so many times, anyone can call themselves an expert. I could wake up tomorrow and decide that I am the magical king unicorn of the universe and just slap that title on myself and go around calling myself that. And there's no one to refute whether or not that's true because there's no way to measure whether or not I'm qualified to have that title. And I think that's why we see this narrative of turn it into an online course, turn it into an ebook, etc., being perpetuated online because it's so easy to enter the market. Like he literally said, anybody can start. No. Just because everyone can start doesn't mean that everyone should start. And then the last part that he made about how fulfilling it is to see your students get the results that you're guaranteeing them. Also a big red flag. Nobody should be guaranteeing anyone any kind of result because that's literally not possible, especially in business coaching. Just because something worked for me in my business doesn't mean that I'm going to guarantee it will work for you. The only structure in which I can guarantee or which I would say that copying my structure would work for you is if I'm a business coach who recruits business coaches to recruit business coaches and so on, because essentially then all you're doing is teaching people sales. Again, you're not guaranteeing the results, but it's much more likely that you're going to see the same result. But that's not a real business. And if anyone is trying to coach you on how to coach other people to coach other people, run the fuck away.
My client Haley simplified her business model to make multiple six figures with 0 sales calls and 2 kids 3 and under. Hello, my name is Meg. I'm a business coach, podcaster, and speaker. And one of the things I love to do in my business is, of course, help women bring in really great money, but in a way that can truly honor what's going on in their personal life, especially as their family is expanding. And that was true for my client Haley, who did just this. At the beginning of 2022, we started working together privately for the second time as she was just about to have her second baby and was fully transitioning to business coaching from fitness.
There it is. She quit her fitness business to become a business coach. Of course she did.
talk about a loaded schedule, giving birth to a baby and a new business. She needed a business model that would fully financially support her family without taking up a ton of time because her growing family was her number one priority.
So she stopped doing her actual business and just started coaching other people to coach other people to coach other people. See, this is where the likelihood of success becomes much higher. Because why struggle trying to get fitness clients when you could just join this fake model of businesses where you just sell people on a dream? Much easier to convince people on the promise of money versus offering a legitimate service.
I'm going to break down what we did in the next video for you, which will be linked in the first comment.
I wish I had downloaded the next video, but it's probably more BS, so we're not really missing out on much here. Okay, we're back. The camera overheated. I swapped the coffee out for a snack. Hopefully you don't mind watching me eat. We have about 3 more videos to get through, so let's go ahead and have a little look-see.
I'm gonna give you guys a secret on how you can go from making $100,000 a year to $100,000 a month. And you're gonna wanna save this for later. The key is that you need to have an identity shift. The people who are making $100,000 a month versus those who make $100,000 a year are just those people who realize that they have to fall in love with themselves. Yes, you need to be obsessed with yourself to the point where people almost call you crazy. They might call you cocky. They might say that you're full of yourself. You need to be full of yourself. And what do I mean by this? Anyone who's making $100,000 a month recognizes that every single penny that they make needs to go back into them. They need to be investing, right? And when I say investing, I'm talking about investing into mentors, investing into always looking their best, investing into knowing how they can personally develop. A lot of people think that investments are always just into a certain stock or into a certain company or anything in a financial market only, when realistically, the biggest investment is into yourself. I've never met a successful person who hasn't had to get themselves a mentor, who hasn't had to fall so deep in love with themselves that they actually get the help that they need in order to fall deeper in love with themselves. And that is how you will attract more money into your life.
That's actually bullshit. As someone who knows multiple people who have run successful companies, especially in like the tech sector, none of those people paid for mentorship. In fact, they have high level, we're talking like mega corporation C-suite level mentors for free because they are legitimately successful, and these people who were also successful 20 years ago want to help them in their journey. This narrative that you have to invest in mentorship in order to be successful is complete bullshit. It is just a sales tactic that these people use to perpetuate the scam of coaching. And I don't know who this girl is, but I'm going to assume that she also sells a multi-$1,000 coaching program. Secondly, I also want to comment on this notion that you have to be obsessed with yourself in order to make $100,000. No. But again, this is the narrative that these coaches push. Like, for example, if you look at these successful business coaches on Instagram, what kind of content are they posting? A lot of the times, and not to generalize, it is this sort of like, I don't even know how to describe it, kind of like self-absorbed content, you know, where they're like, look really good. And it's like, look at me, look at me, look at me. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm not someone who constantly wants people to like take my photo and record me on video. Like, this is different, me sitting on my couch talking to YouTube, but I'm not like an Instagram model or anything by any means. However, a lot of these like successful coaches want to document the lifestyle and portray this certain image online in order to like convince people to buy their programs. And so I just don't see how those two are correlated. I understand that if you don't have a lot of self-confidence and you don't believe that you're going to be successful, that could potentially hold you back from trying opportunities that could lead to your eventual success. Like, for example, if I was really self-conscious about posting myself on the internet, I probably wouldn't have started a YouTube channel, and I probably wouldn't have gotten 1,000 subscribers. And so there was a level of belief in myself in order to achieve that certain like marker of success, but that didn't only happen because I believed that I was like worthy of it or whatever. I actually took action to make it happen. So I don't know. This whole video is just giving me major scammer vibes. She perpetuates a lot of the same rhetoric that we see all of these coaches use. And overall, I just don't like it. Let's see what's next.
Did I really make 300K online? Yes, this is the question I get a ton. I've made all the money in my business through monetizing on social media by creating a information-based business where I take the information that I know, I turn it into a coaching program, and I help other people facilitate the same thing. So
just like the video we watched of that other guy, she is essentially saying, but in a little bit more of a complicated way, I took a skill I had, I turned it into a coaching program, and now I teach other people how to do the same thing. So I'm a business coach that coaches other coaches to coach other coaches, in simple terms.
for those of you who think you can't create a business online, this is the first thing that you need to do in order to actually create a business. You can come up with a skill that you're comfortable teaching other people, that you've either paid your own education to learn yourself, or you've had so much experience that you've learned over time and have created massive results. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what your education is. Most people don't start because they feel like they don't have the qualifications or certifications or the degrees to be able to work with people. But what you don't understand is that people don't care about the certifications. They care about the results. That's it.
Okay, I disagree with so much of this to say that people don't care about qualifications. The people who don't care about qualifications are the people who are vulnerable enough to not understand that they should care about the qualifications.
So if you have the ability to help other people achieve the same goal that you achieve and to achieve the results that they want to, that's all that really matters. So it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be qualified either, and you should definitely do your due diligence, do your homework research, and get any proper certifications that you need in your space. However, if we're being completely honest, we live in a day and age where money is being made differently. Digital money and different niches and spaces are being utilized more than ever before. So
you can just do whatever you want. It doesn't matter anyway. It's just the internet.
don't stop yourself just because you don't have the qualification or certification. Just go ahead and get started.
No, you absolutely should start. If you are not qualified to be teaching someone on a particular subject, you should not just start a business in that subject and hope that you learn the experience along the way. That is horrible advice.
The first thing you need to have is an actual skill that you're willing to teach other people. And so you're trading your information and working with people to give them that information for money. And so what a lot of people worry about is getting paid per hour. But what you have to understand is that if you're trying to get into any type of coaching or online coaching, you shouldn't be getting paid per hour. Getting paid per hour kind of signifies that you still have this employee mindset, and you're not an employee, you're an entrepreneur. And so you should be getting paid for the labor and the time that you're also building into your business, along with the intellectual property that you have too. So with that being said, if you want to do what I did, I started my own business online. I leveraged a skill set that I knew really well, which was social media and business, bringing those two together to help people successfully create their own businesses on social media, being able to become expert at sales, because if you suck at sales, you're going to really struggle with building your own business on social media. And then instead of having to wait so long to package everything, I immediately started working with people for thousands of dollars, not hundreds, and not for tens. That's for damn sure. That's how you start to get paid quicker with starting a business online.
Okay, so I just want to go back to something she said. She said, I took a skill that I already had, which was social media and business. Okay, but did you actually have the skill of business? What was your business experience? Please enlighten me on what business you used to run, because if she had legitimate business experience, she likely would have worded it, I took the experience I had from running business XYZ for X number of years and my knowledge of social media to then teach people how to run their own business on social media. Red flags everywhere. Okay, this last video is actually not someone that I'm going to be critiquing. This was actually a video explaining how the coaching industry and their coaching business burned them out. So let's go ahead and watch this.
This is the story of how a $50,000 business coach burned me out. I hired a coach to help me get more clients, get more visible, make more money, and her first piece of advice was to create more content, saying as long as you show up every day with value, you'll never want for clients. And so I did just that. But all I heard was crickets. I spent 9 months showing up every single day and never landed a single client. I was exhausted, defeated, never wanted to look at social media again. And so I quit. I closed my business to take a break, and for 8 weeks, I did nothing but reflect, work on my house, and drink coffee. And in that break, I discovered quiet marketing, which happens to be the opposite of what this business coach told me. It's not for everyone, but it made me love my business again.
Okay, that last piece I think is a little bit of a sales situation, but I think that this is an accurate representation of the results that many clients who hire a business coach receive. Because so many of these business coaches are inexperienced in actually providing legitimate business advice, or inexperienced in actually running a real business, they provide a lot of cookie cutter base level information that can be found on Google, on YouTube, in books, etc. So they've basically watched all these free resources and then regurgitated that into their own course. And so as a result, they say things like, show up every day, post on social media, talk to your ideal client, etc., etc. And while they themselves might have found success using that model, a lot of it comes down to the individual themselves. Quite frankly, some people are just better at showing up on social media than others. Some people have the right personality for talking to the camera versus other people. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, not to hate on anyone, not throwing any shade, but those individuals who try to show up on social media and they just seem shy or awkward or uncomfortable. Obviously, I'm going to be much less likely to buy from that person versus this coach who's super confident. And so if this confident person is telling this shy person, just keep showing up, but that person doesn't have the skill set to show up on camera, obviously they're not going to be as successful. And so I mostly just wanted to share this video because I think it really proves my point of the experience that many people have who hire a business coach. And it's an excellent segue into that interview that is coming next week that I'm so excited to share with you because, oh my God, this person's story is absolutely insane. Now, all that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. If you have content you want me to react to, again, my email is linked in the description of this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I will see you in the next one.